Brother K hates Foregen. He has declared an all-out war on Foregen to the point of celebrating their perceived downfall. He is convinced Foregen is a scam. If you are a Bloodstained Men supporter or a Foregen supporter, you need to listen to this. The charity program of who should win 15% of Prevail over the System's earnings has been anything but charitable, with both sides going after each other. But if you look closely, Bloodstained Men and Brother K have a history of slandering and condemning Foregen, to the point they have banned any mention of Foregen. People who have toured with Brother K have reported to me that he will openly talk bad about Foregen as well. So let's examine the evidence, and you guys can decide for yourself. So this all starts on March 18th. Bloodstained Men and their friends, they have posted or reposted James Lowen's "Foregen Too Good to Be True?" ? They took some quotes out. They said, "There is a long history of con artists who capitalized on human suffering." James Lowen issues a statement on the Foregen fundraiser. "It's a bitter truth for American men and other men around the world. There is no magic treatment that will fix what doctors broke." So right there, that's a whole lot of doubt, right? It's essentially claiming what James said is true and saying that there's going to be no magic treatment to fix it. Now that isn't super horrible, but let's continue reading. This letter, honestly, isn't that great. I mean, I'll read it really fast. Foregen Too Good to Be True. As many in the intactivist movement and beyond now know, Foregen is a company promoting the application of existing technology to growing and attaching regenerated foreskins in men who were sexually mutilated as infants and children. When I first heard about Foregen 8 years ago, I was curious but skeptical. The idea of fully restoring the foreskins of men who had been cut was science fiction. However, at the 2010 No-Circ Symposium in Berkeley was a man, Foregen's founder Enzo, saying he was going to achieve just that. I asked Enzo if I could interview him, but he declined. Well, one, Enzo mostly speaks Italian, so that would be kind of hard to do that. And secondly, I've also asked Bloodstained Men members and Brother K if I could interview them, in which they actually haven't even replied to me. So, I mean, I don't know. Doesn't really say anything there. To the best of my understanding, Enzo was promoting the idea that Foregen would grow foreskins in a lab from each patient's own stem cells in a feat of microsurgery, open the patient's main circumcision scar, and reattach the newly created lab-grown foreskin. As Foregen claims spread, I noted a disturbing phenomenon. So what is this disturbing phenomenon that this guy's noticed? Many young men, deeply upset at having been cut and feeling hopeless about this permanent lifelong wound, were now elated. Here finally was a promise of a cure. A healing from being cut. So wait, your disturbing phenomenon is the fact that young men who were super depressed now have hope. They're now happy. They have something to look forward to, something to live for. That's the disturbing phenomenon. Like, what? This is a good thing. Even if they give hope, why is that bad? You know, I feel like bare minimum, you could treat this like a religion, even if you didn't think it worked. So I think that's a good thing. But I guess this is disturbing that men have hope now. With regularity, I heard some of these young men express, "Foregen is my only hope. If not for Foregen, I would off myself." I'm not saying that on YouTube. "Or I'm not going to bother with old-style foreskin restoration. I'm putting all my faith in Foregen." Critics of Foregen claims are cautious. Nobody wants to dash the hopes of young people who are deeply wounded and hurting badly, but being skeptical is one way of staying grounded in reality and avoid being bamboozled. All right, so what's the other way? You said one way. What's the other way? I'm sure it's doing your research, right? Or, actually watching Foregen closely, which I don't think you guys have. We're just going to continue. There is a long history of con artists who capitalized on human suffering. Check this story of a con man surgeon using regenerative medicine for windpipe replacements. Link in the comments. Okay, well, first off, you said there's a long history of con artists who capitalize on human suffering. Well, that's great, right? You said there's a long history. You gave one example, fantastic. But you know what? What about all the other crazy inventions that we've made? Like the microwave, the car, the airplane, all these things where critics came out and said, oh, that would never work. That would never be a thing. Like, there's a thing of being skeptical, but then there's also innovation. You need room for innovation. And I feel like any true intactivist would be all for Foregen, even if it had a 5% chance of working out, because that's innovation. That's a new way. I don't understand why you would be so against this, because it gives men hope. Oh, they might get quote unquote bamboozled. Like, I don't know what you're getting at. Like, you think that this Enzo guy is a bad guy and he's trying to scam people? Is that what you're trying to say? Secondly, yeah, okay, give one example of a con man. I read it as well. I did read it. Okay, once again, that's one example. We have many examples of people doing lots of crazy things where people would be like, oh, you're just wasting your time, and it working out just fine. But anyways, let's continue reading this. A second concern I have, and have often expressed to other intactivists, is the likelihood of organizations capitalizing on circumcision issue and then campaigning endlessly for money to fight circumcision without it really doing anything except collecting money. Like cancer, circumcision affects many people. Give money today, find the cure for cancer/circumcision tomorrow. So it seems like here James is having an issue with the speed of science. I guess he doesn't like the fact that Foregen and the cure for cancer isn't happening on his time. I think he wants this done now, and he wants it done tomorrow, and just the fact that, yes, that is a concern, and you can say you have a concern. Like, not everything is 100%, right? Like, you can't just sit there. Like, I could argue that Bloodstained men, you know what? What have they really done? Like, how many people have they saved? How many babies did they really save? Is it Bloodstained men or is it immigration? Where are the charts? Because you can look at the CDC charts, and there's no real big drastic change from 2012 when Bloodstained Men was founded to now. And you can still blame that on immigration, even like the small couple percentage points that drop. So, I mean, how fast? Like, that would be like me claiming, oh, Bloodstained Men doesn't work because circumcision's not eradicated. They've been going at this for 11 years now, probably longer. Protesting's not working. Everyone's been protesting circumcision for thousands of years. It's not working. Bloodstained Men, what are you doing? You're not working, So it's kind of hypocritical almost that you're saying that Foregen, who's trying this new thing, is concerning, but Bloodstained Men is reinventing the wheel again in their campaigning. So I don't know. That's just what I'm reading into this. And also with cancer, by the way, they are coming up with a cure. It's actually called chemotherapy, and they have that. They also have early detection and other things like that. So yes, when you give money, it does help find a cure for cancer. Let's continue though. The fight against circumcision is a grassroots movement built upon dedication and very hard work by many individuals. Okay, so that's nothing. That's appeal to emotion. Attempts to use grassroots intactivism to promote collecting money for quote-unquote the issue. I don't know what that means, quote-unquote the issue, but not giving it right back to grassroots intactivism should be a big concern to those working on this issue and those donating money to quote-unquote the cause. I don't know why he's quoting stuff, but okay. So that's really interesting because I just feel like, once again, James isn't happy with the speed that Foregen's working. Like, they should work on James's schedule. And the fact that, oh, people worked really hard for, intactivism, and that you should give money to those that give it right back to you. Okay. I mean, that doesn't say anything. It says, like, you need to give money to people that give it right back to you. Like, what?
What are you saying? What are you saying? What is he saying?
And what is his big concern? He says it should be a big concern, but doesn't really explain why it should be a big concern. it's very vague. Like, oh, it should be a big concern because they're just not giving us the results we want fast enough. There are many unanswered questions. Foreskin is not just skin, it's also a complex arrangement of smooth muscle tissue, blood vessels, fine touch, nerve, and mucous membrane. Okay, well, what were your questions? You only asked one. Is Foregen too good to be true? Perhaps some of the good people campaigning for funds for Foregen can explain in layman terms how will they achieve the surgical hookup. Well, fun fact, Foregen just had a meeting. They put it on YouTube. You can check it out right now. I know you made this in 2018. I know Bloodstained men probably don't keep up with this. If they do, they silence Foregen because they don't post anything else about Foregen. So you can go and check that out. You're welcome. Potts told you. And I'm sure my people can give you this video. How will they achieve the surgical hookup of a lab-grown specimen? Does Foregen have any published scientists who have confirmed the validity of their claims? Yes, you can go check their websites now. So, okay. Now maybe that was convincing back in the day, but right now, I just feel like it's really not that great. So let's go and see how, BK took this. Let's go see. This is Brother K. Right here. Breaking news. Foregen goes down in flames. Dude, does that not sound like celebratory? Like, yeah, Foregen's going down in flames. Yeah, look at this. Oh, yeah. A few hours ago, a respected James Lowman posted his skepticism about the fundraiser known as Foregen. Many of you have weighed in with your own skepticism and thank James for speaking out about this cancer on intactivism. He called Foregen a cancer. What the actual heck? What person does that? Oh yeah, hey, hope for cut men, cancer. What? Okay. Oh, and now reports as follows. I just received a private message in response to this post from a long-time, very respected intactivist friend. I have their permission to post it here anonymously. Okay, well, I don't know who this person is. Congratulations, you could have made this up, and I've also read this. You can read this if you want. It's whatever. There's lots of misinformation in here, at least as of right now. First, any U.S.-based nonprofit would be required to post a complete financial statement. Since they are Italian-based, they don't. Well, Foregen is still Italian-based, but guess what? Look at this. Look. Foregen's also in Linwood, Washington. So, yes. Oh, also crashing and burning. Brother K, hey, check this out. They made $586,000 in 2021. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Them crashing and burning. That's a pretty sad statement you made. And that was back in, 2018? Yeah, they're real crashing and burning, let me tell you. But yeah, this is also Foregen. Oh, by the way, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, Foregen is a cancer, and it's BK, we'll call them a scam too down the road. I'll show you. Look, salaries, other compensation, and employee benefits. It's zero. It's literally zero. They don't get paid anything. So Foregen people are getting paid nothing. At least that's what it shows on their tax record. So good job. And you can even check here. Look, they're not getting paid anything. Do you want me to zoom in? Look, Foregen people are not getting paid anything. So what in the world are you talking about? This is like the worst ran scam in the world, if that's what you're trying to say. Or, cancer or whatever you want to say about it. So guess what? They do report their financial statements. So good job. Let me see. Then they said at some point they want to make Foregen for profit, yet they still solicit donations, not investors. Bro, your friend isn't very smart because they're still a nonprofit. They're allowed to ask for donations. So that's not even a problem. If you read this, guys, you can read this and it's ridiculous. This long-term anonymous friend they have, okay, cool. It's literally just not great, right? I don't even want to read this to you guys. It's really bad. I don't know how you guys can. I mean, how would someone feel after getting a regenerative foreskin only to have it become cancerous and then have your entire penis needs to be removed? Okay, look, this is fear-mongering tactics, right? And once again, look at what they call them, scam gen. Oh, wow, that's great. So yes, BK and Bloodstained men, he's the leader of Bloodstained Men, right? Look at this, Brother K. Oh, look, the other Foregen attacks got like 61. Okay, cool. This one here got 3 reactions. Okay. Oh, that's not good enough for Brother K. Brother K he tagged 70 people. He tagged 70 people because he did not get enough attention on this. So he had to repost what, Bloodstained Men posted and, shared this again. And oh, hey, look, he's getting reactions. Congratulations. And Brother K again on the same day when the dam breaks. And then, he talks about, there's a lot of respected people around here. James Ketter, I don't know who that is, weighs in on the Foregen scam. Brother K just called them a scam. Like, BK, that's super crazy. What are you doing? And then once again, you can read what James said. James says all this stuff. Okay. And Foregen has talked about this as well. And, I just feel like they need to go to a meeting and report on it. It's really not hard for them. It's on YouTube. Type in Foregen, right? And go ahead and check out what Foregen's saying. Once again, this was back in 2018. And Bloodstained Men or BK haven't said anything about the issue since. So that's pretty concerning because there have been lots of Foregen updates. Now also BK, look at Bloodstained Men. Wow, $286,000 in 2021. Wow, BK, is $286,000 not enough for you? Do you need more money? Do you really need more money? Like, how much money will it take for you to end circumcision? You know what's crazy? This graph, I'm going to have to explain this graph really quick to get with another complaint that people have with Bloodstained Men. So if you look at this chart here, you can go ahead and see that Bloodstained Men versus Foregen, comparing their social hype, you can see that Bloodstained Men crushes Foregen on Facebook, on X, on Instagram. However, Foregen doesn't have an Instagram. But if you look at the total numbers, Foregen only has about 10,800 people that really follows them, right? Bloodstained Men, they have about 62,000 people that follow them. Bloodstained Men have 6 times the amount of followers Foregen has. Now, why is that? Well, perhaps that's because when you give them hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, Bloodstained Men's only job is to advertise and to get attention. And they do that through social media. They do that through billboards. They do that by getting interviews. And with that, a lot of intactivists are saying that that comes with responsibility. Like, letting people know all about intactivism and giving fair and unbiased reviews. However, Bloodstained Men, when it comes to Foregen, they don't do that. Like, they've actually broken a couple laws, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you can't just call a legitimate company a scam. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you got away with that. You're lucky you're not in a courtroom because, there's been intactivists that have sued others that have done a lot less. And a lot of Foregen supporters claim that Bloodstained Men gatekeep and they don't share anything about Foregen. They lock them out. And so their news doesn't spread. Now, is that wrong per se? No. They can share whoever they want. But is it morally acceptable to gatekeep and for Bloodstained Men to hinder the potential advancement of you becoming whole? Because there's 2 ways of looking at this. Either Brother K thinks that you're not smart enough to make your own decision, so he's babying you, right? And he's holding you back from perhaps the greatest intactivist invention ever that is going to bring you joy and pleasure and all of that. Or B, Brother K is heroically saving you from a scam that hasn't been proven yet. So that is why, if you look at these numbers, you can definitely see, like, wow, Foregen is super undermanned. And, Bloodstained Men definitely does keep a lot of people, because once again, they get paid to just get people and to get eyes on them. And Bloodstained Men have also, if you go and check Bloodstained Men, they do push foreskin restoration a lot. See, so if you look at this post here, for example, you have Bloodstained Men and their friends literally reposting what Brother K said about foreskin restoration and how it worked so well for him, right? And, once again, they are really big. And if you look at the restoration Reddit, they have 32,000 members. Now, why is that? Probably because they have backing from Bloodstained Men and they get publicity from them. And you're like, oh, pots. That's not what's going on. No. All right, let me give you another example. So here is Intact Infants, all right? They are literally from Kenya. They have 350 followers. They joined April 2023. All right, that's super cool. Now, if you go to the Prevail over the system, oh, look at this. When did we join? We joined June 2023. Just 2 months difference, right? And we have 57 followers. Now, what's the difference? I'll tell you the difference. If you go to Bloodstained Men, oh, look at this. Bloodstained Men reposted Intact Infants. Oh, Bloodstained Men reposted Intact Infants. So when that happens, you see the 50 followers, 350 followers. That's the difference, and that's why a lot of intactivists get so upset with Bloodstained Men for gatekeeping. Gatekeeping just means you can pick and choose which does good. It's actually, we have monopoly laws in US to prevent that. I mean, guys, look at this. Not to pick on anybody, but look at the intactivist infants, first post. They misspelled circumcision. Are you kidding me? I don't know. Okay, they got 350 followers organically. I mean, maybe they did. I don't know how, because, I know I have a whole team that pushes pots. Maybe Intact Infants has a whole team. Maybe it's not Bloodstained Men. But once again, foreskin restoration with 32,000 people who also doesn't let you post about Foregen. Isn't that interesting? Brother K and other intactivist groups do not let you talk about Foregen. And I have a feeling that's because a lot of them follow Bloodstained Men and they follow Bloodstained Men's lead. However, right, this is the most embarrassing part. Bloodstained Men have one job, and that's to go out and essentially advertise to save kids from circumcision. Now, if you go and look at the POTS charity voting as of right now, look at how bad this is. Bloodstained Men, with all of their tactics, they haven't talked about Foregen for 5 years. They talked bad about Foregen even. They've done everything that they could to go and get eyes on them. Bloodstained Men, they are supposed to be king of advertising and propaganda, charisma, and convincing people. They have billboards all over the country, and they protest in 60 cities. They get hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they are trying to censor Foregen. And Foregen, on the other hand, they don't advertise or want people to advertise. Even Nikos has said that. And they are beating Bloodstained Men right now. That kind of makes you wonder what kind of leader Brother K is. Because Brother K is going around slandering a company, a legit nonprofit, just like Bloodstained Men is a legit nonprofit, but he has 6 times more followers. How is he losing this vote? I am confused how Bloodstained Men is losing this vote, quite frankly. And The thing is Foregen hasn't said anything bad about Brother K that me or my people can find, or like Foregen hasn't said anything bad about Bloodstained Men, which you can find that being professional, or you can see that as Foregen being a coward. Like, you guys decide. What do you guys think? Is Brother K protecting you from a scam, or is he hindering you from being whole again? Is Foregen not saying anything about what Bloodstained Men is saying about them? Is that them being professional, or is that them just being scared of confrontation? Or is it something else? Maybe it's like a language barrier. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Also, do you guys think that Brother K and Bloodstained Men are gatekeeping other intactivists from doing good? Do you think that they're gatekeeping information? All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I mean, I could say something else, but I'm not going to. I think what the Foregen supporters wanted to get out did get out, and I think I was pretty unbiased with most of it. I like to think. Let me know if you thought I was unbiased on this. And yeah, Brother K, give Prevail of the System a shout out. I almost guarantee you won't, but you should do it because that's fair. And don't worry, I don't want to take your money. I just want people to use the POTS charity program. Join my Discord. That's it. Have people join my Discord, Brother K. All right? Share your people. I don't want their money. All right. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go. Bye.